Trench warfare, which consisted of digging long narrow ditches and fighting battles on land, was most predominantly used during World War I in the year 1914, especially on the Western Front. When two sides fought each other, they would eventually come to a stalemate. Trenches were used in order to position armies for long periods of time, so either side could have the best chance of gaining territory. Trenches used during World War I had barbed wire clusters at the front to prevent surprise attack. A drainage stump covered with duckboards and back with shuttering provided stability and a draining system. Bunkers and dugouts provided shelter. There was also a fire step, elbow rest, and storage for ammunition for attack. Many trenches were not well built. Armies thought World War I would last a short time and built poor trenches and dug on low land. These errors caused flooded trenches, which led to trench foot and other illnesses. Germany had the most well-built trenches because they anticipated for a longer war. Time spent in trenches was hard. In the winter it would rain often. One unit of men would be expected to serve in the trenches for 1 week. Military duty included listening for the enemy and their information, venturing into no man's land, attacking and defending, and capturing enemy prisoners. Trench warfare was very stressful. A typical day in the life of a soldier fighting in the trenches began before dawn with stand to. Soldiers would collect weapons, take their place on the fire step, and shoot at enemy lines during morning hay. Breakfast was then served. The soldiers then conducted daily chores, cleaned weapons, slept, wrote letters, and conducted trench maintenance. Stand to was then repeated at night, and groups were sent into no man's land. Other remaining soldiers collected rations, went on sentry duty, or entered the firing line.
On days it rained heavily, the trenches would fill with water until the trenches became mud and they would soon cave in. The mud would soon turn solid and it would be prone to diseases. One disease is trench foot. Trench foot was a nasty, cold injury. While in the war, soldiers were fed canned food and rarely received hot meals, which got eaten by rats around the trench. The rats brought lice and threatened the health and hygiene of men. 488 rat babies were born per one rat. While war was going on, new technology made it easier to kill, such as machine gun, the tank, airplane, and zeppelin, and gas. Chlorine attacked the lung and made it fill with liquid and drown if your mask wasn't secure before the wave hit you. Mustard gas, on the other hand, attacked every part of your skin it touched and burned it. The soldiers were given gas masks made of cloth treated with chemicals. You are given 2 glass sockets so you can see out and a rubber tube that your mouth goes in. You breathe through your nose because the chemicals on the helmet make the air okay. You're only granted 18 to 20 seconds to secure and fasten your mask before the wave of gas hits you.
In the trenches, many men were sick with disease and needed medical care or were with injuries. The sick and injured patients outnumbered the doctors and nurses. Space was limited and the doctors could not take care of all of them. Doctors worked long hours and barely got sleep, which led to some mistreatments in patients. Though hospitals did help save some lives, lots of lives were still lost. As you can see, life in the trenches was devastating for the soldiers. These men had to work and fight long hours, either in constant worry for their lives or just thinking about the cold, rain, mud, disgusting living conditions, or small food portions. Many diseases, like trench foot, would spread to the soldiers. Overall, many deaths came from disease and poor hospital conditions. Trench warfare was important because it kept more soldiers alive and gave them a place to stay safe during war. In Flanders fields, the poppies blow between the crosses row on row that mark our place, and in the sky the larks, still bravely singing, fly, scarce heard amid the guns below. We are the dead. Short days ago we lived, felt dawn, saw sunset glow, loved and were loved, and now we lie in Flanders fields. Take up our quarrel with the foe, to you from failing hands we throw. The torch be yours to hold it high, If ye break faith with us who die, we shall not sleep through poppies grow in Flanders fields. In Flanders Fields by John McCrae.